Good morning, guys. So I was thinking about what are all of my bad trades, like the worst trades I took the biggest losses on. What do they all have in common? So I started going back. Let's see if I can move this down. So on this one, for instance, this is a microfloat, I believe. I start scaling in at $6 level, but then I get squeezed. I remember this went into a halt. I'm in full size. I'm obviously not, when I'm in full size, I'm risking typically about 10 cents is what I feel comfortable risking. But this squeezed, like damn sure of like almost $1. Yeah, I was like 80 cents down. Took a complete max loss on this one trade. I'm gonna keep on pausing these back and forth so I can get things in position. So this is not a super long ass video. Next trade. What do you notice? Same damn thing. I'm like, huh. Riding up the 9 EMA. Got a little curl right here and then squeezes. This is also, I believe this was a microfloat as well. So getting squeezed on microfloats seems like a common theme, right? So this one is extremely embarrassing, actually. I forgot all about this trade. So this thing popped up. It's got no volume at all. It popped up, to here. I was looking for a lower high. I missed this entry. I took another one in here, and I was like, man, if I'm lucky, it'll get to 250. And so what I did is I set a limit order out there, and I'm at work. Those that have been with me for a while know that I'm driving around and shit, and I just left it. I didn't have like a stop. Nothing. And when I came back, I had hit max loss, and I was like, you have got to be shitting me. I just left an order out there to fill go full size. This should have been my absolute max risk, but then I come back and I hit my max loss, and I was just like, dude, so like this is just pure stupidity. Oh, I forgot all about this trade. This is a horrible ass trade. So this one, once again, first off, the range on this thing, right? So if I'm getting into a stock that just stuffed out from 54 down to 11, that's a big stuff, right? This is also I believe this was a microfloat as well. I start scaling in. I get sketched out. I get out of the trade, but then it does some crazy price action, and I slam the bid. I get stuck in this thing, and then I get squeezed. This is the same stuff that I've been talking about recently. Remember how I talked about how there is a ceiling and there is a floor. You long near the floors where you have a set risk, and you short near the highs. It's that simple. If you can't get a entry near the high, don't be trading it. Like, this is crazy, taking a short down here. Like, the only thing I can think of is that this is holding 5, and then when it fell under 5, a couple weeks ago, I was showing you guys some footage where on the level 2, the bid and the ask, the bid's up here at say $5, and then all of a sudden this will be at $4.99, and then all of a sudden it's going to drop to like $4.70. But the ask stays right there. It stays on the ask, but they drop the bid, and they get people that can't control their emotions like I did on this particular trade, and I get down here, but the price, like, really the bid probably just fell out. The ask is probably up here near 5s, and I got the shitty fill. It opened on the next bar and then fucking pushed up, and I get stopped out. And I mean, that's I'm not trying to say that that's like a rookie mistake, but that is a rookie mistake. And especially when you start seeing this kind of stuff, like this thing goes down, it's got a fake breakdown, and it's got a low, a higher low, basically double bottom. Like I would really be looking for another push up and higher. This would obviously have to be the risk, but like even here, I would not be willing to get in full size. I cannot believe I got in full size with hell down here. If I'm up here, even if I got in with the well, I don't know. That's probably, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that topped out at. That's, yeah, 54. Okay, yeah. I would get, if I top ticked it, like I top tick covered right there. Yeah, I could get full size on that, but I think that being selective on what I'm trading is going to be very important. So this is not a micro float, but it is still poor trading. So this used to be resistance, now it turns into support. This is the new ceiling. That would be the new floor. It's clearly showing that it's respecting that level right here. So why in the hell am I shorting way the hell down here when the ceiling is up here? You short the pops and you sell on the lows, or at least partial covers. Especially you see something like get bought up like this. Like I would definitely be taking a piece off if I'm up here at say 540. This is 515. I mean, I'd probably take off a little bit of size. I see that, and then lower my stop to break even, and then I would just skip my first target. If I cover before my first target, then I pass up my first target and I hold for my second target because I've already taken a partial position off. So another micro float, and look at that shit. I get squeezed. So the reason I'm doing this is not to be like super fucking negative, but okay, well, what does this tell me? Okay, if I'm going to I can clearly trade micro floats. Obviously, I need to make sure that I'm trading near the tops. But the other thing is, I need to have a stop loss on them, and possibly even like a market order like stop loss. Like I don't know how that would work. I guess I could have a limit order, and if it's squeezed, I just hopefully it fills my limit up. I'm also not trading with huge size either, so I would think that it would cover my size. I also have like I think it's like ask plus like 2 cents or something like that, so that would also help. So really, like that's what I'm trying to figure out is like, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Obviously, what I'm doing wrong is I'm getting, like, most of these huge losses are because I'm getting squeezed on micro floats or nano floats. So either A, don't trade them at all, or make sure I have a stop loss on. So now I want to go to the good side. So I want to be completely honest with you. This was a complete accident. This was the same, actually. The last one that I was talking about where I got squeezed on a nano float, which is actually something that I was going to look into, and then I got distracted and I haven't looked into it. But instead of just stopping out and looking for another opportunity, like the second you get stopped out, you instantly reverse long, and that's exactly what this did. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but this was a complete accident. I did not mean to. But this is the biggest winner I've had in like the last 4 months. I absolutely killed it on this because I'm in big size at $6. I was selling until $8, and I crushed it. But just because it was luck doesn't mean that there isn't something there. So like that's gonna be something that I want to start looking into. Is like, maybe I'll go back to the losses that I had, and I don't know, like that might be something I look into. Like, okay, like, hey, that's a clear level. Like, I'm going to be risking just over that. Maybe that'd be something to like another play in the book. And don't go in full size. I feel comfortable shorting. I don't feel comfortable longing. But if the long is there, and then if you'll start looking at this. I was talking to one of my students a while ago, but like, look at this. It's riding the 9 EMA all the way up, right? Well, how I was telling him, okay, you get long until this closes underneath the 9, like up here. Don't cover anything. Yeah, like, of course, you start missing out some up here, but like, I mean, you start seeing action like this, I would trim some size off there for sure. But don't get all out until it closes underneath the 9. That's a way that you can kind of trail. That might be something that I start looking into, especially now that I remember this trade now, and I remember, like, dude, maybe that's exactly what I should do. Is like when I get stopped out, instead of just stopping out, reverse long. So this trade was not an accident. This was I started realizing that there was a lot more long opportunities back at this time. And I saw this thing coming down, like, it had a big overhead over here at, 750. But I was like, I'm going to risk off of here. This thing opened, came down. I started longing. I longed more. I covered at the fib level. I covered towards the top. Once it broke through the pre-market high and it found support on it, I longed again and I sold into the pops. But once again, did I choke that trade out at all? No, I don't think I did, because this would have been, with the theory that I had, that's where I would have covered, and that would have been break even. So, I think I traded this one very well. It's kind of funny that I think of myself as a short seller, but my two biggest wins are going long the last like 3 or 4 months. All right, here we go. This one, I fucking killed this one. And I honestly don't remember this one either. 1 second, actually. One thing I went back on the last 2 trades I was looking at, and I tagged them as one was the nano float that I longed, and one was the micro float that I longed. I want to start making sure that I start tagging these with the floats, so I can start seeing, okay, is there like correlation with like what I'm doing better. This is 5 to 10 million float. The thing I don't like about this, this is a monster ass trade, but I'm not really. Obviously, I don't fucking remember the actual entries. This thing did stuff. I mean, that is a whole dollar number. It did stuff on the whole dollar number. See how this plays out with fib. Yeah, see, like, that's where I should have got in. I should have made even more money, because I should have been shorting on the ask at the 610 level. So there's always room to improve. Yeah, this is a monster ass trade, but like, you can always improve, right? Then I want to see. I don't like this ad at all. Why? Because it's too low. Like, maybe that's something I can start looking into. It's like, okay, well, where's a good ad? Like, say I did get in here at the 61 fib level, how I tell you guys to trade gap and extensions. Okay, well, maybe the next pop is, okay, I'll add at the 50. Like, once it drops down and finds another floor, because if you look at this, got the ceiling, he's got the floor, right? It's making a distribution pattern. It breaks through the floor. Okay, well, now it finds a new floor. Okay, well, once it does that, go from the high to the new floor. Maybe the 50 fib level is a good level to look at. At the same time, it basically lines up with the floor of this. So, maybe that's what I was looking at on here. If it was, then good. But I still don't like the end. I don't know. I guess that is a doji, so, it's not horrible, and I did hold this shit for. This is horrible. This is a huge no. Shorting down here, yeah, it's downtrending, obviously, but the thing I don't like about this is that from this point, Like obviously this is high, this is a high, but then after that there isn't a lower high. For me, this could easily fucking curl and rip up. Like why am I adding way the hell down here? Just don't be a greedy son of a bitch. Get in here and then just hold it. And I held all the way down into like, after hours. I get a move from $6 to $3.60. Like that is a ungodly amount of moves. So like, what am I starting to figure out? Two of them are long, and this one I'm being super patient, and I'm just holding the move, right? All right, so this is another one, BBAI. This is a day 2. It had this move up on day 1. Is an intraday gapper. Had its topping right where I shorted at. It went up in after hours. Let's see. I mean that is the 6-1 level. So I think that's a good trade, right? What I really, really, really don't fucking like is I do remember this shit because let's see if I can do this. Go to the daily. So this is how like delusional I was, right? I'm saying that holy shit, this thing is up from $2. Like, what if this thing fades all the way down to $2? Like, yeah, well, what if I get a $20 million inheritance from some family member that I don't know? Like that, yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. Like, cool scenario. Okay, well, what's the odds of that shit? It's making a high, a higher high, a lower high, and then it fucking squeezes way above this. Like, I feel like the best case scenario should be looking for is like the close of this gap. Like $5 should have been like the absolute best. I know for a fact I was looking for like 2s, and I was like, dude, this thing's gonna just fade all the way down, and that's what caused this. Because I guarantee I'm not the only person that thought the same shit and allowed them to play with emotions and make a ungodly amount of money up on this thing. So if you go back to the daily, I think that I had a good short. Obviously, I think that this would have been much better. It's right at the open though. I would imagine that's probably like the 78 fib level. It's not. It's not even at the 78 fib level, but it's not a whole or half dollar number. But what it is, obviously hindsight is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's the floor, right? That is the floor. If anybody's getting long, everyone's getting long in this fucking chop, looking for this thing to continue up, or they're long up here, risking this chop, and then they didn't fucking respect their stop or whatever, and now it's coming back into their zone. They're getting the fuck out, or short sellers, had a better eye for this thing than I did, and they're seeing this consolidation period and they're shorting that, risking just over the high. That's what I would have done if I would have noticed that. That would have been a beautiful ass short. It gets all the way down to $7 and then starts to make higher lows, which then it comes into a 61 fib level. I short, I cover down here partial for a good move, but then this is crazy. Adding an after hours, which is what I was telling a lot of my students, is like, I know there's a lot of people that have been trading in after hours, but for me, I'm not trying to be a dick. If you are one of those people that do this, you're being a junkie. Like, what in the hell? Like, there was a couple of years ago, like, I think it's like it might have been 4 years ago, there was a lot of offerings in after hours. If that theme happened again, then yeah, I could see you trading in after hours. But like right now, that's just a waste of time, in my personal opinion. Alright, so this is another nano float. This thing just this is what I'm calling like intraday gap, where it's not trading any volume, and then out of nowhere it just picks up volume. I wasn't looking at the first leg up. I wanted to see a fake breakout of the high a day. It went down, had a bounce, came up. I was looking at this for like a 6-to-1 fib level. It would have worked for a little bit, but then it found support and squeezed, and then up in here, it's above here. Then I start scaling in on this thing. See how I scaled in. After the doji, I have no problem with that. Risking over the doji. It's kind of low down here. This is kind of the same. This is the same predicament that got me kind of screwed in those big losses. Remember, down here at the floor, I want to be shorting near the ceilings, right? So if I know that, it's after this stuff candle. Okay, I got in. I don't know if I was on the red candle or the blue candle. I think I was in on the red candle. So it's still not the best entry. That's a big risk. I don't know how much size I was in. 1 second. Okay, so I was in really small size, so I'm actually okay with that. I mean, that's literally risking nothing with the size that I was in. I got in. I doubled my size right here, which also 50, 78. So that's not horrible. 55. The risk isn't horrible. The short, in my opinion, is horrible. Why? Because, like I said, it's the floor, and this thing is a nano float. So if something is a nano float, I need to be careful with it. If this thing squeezes up, goes to a lower high, I load the boat up here. I would say my average is probably there, maybe, so 60s to 70s. That's about right. And then, it fades all the way down, and I hold it for at least $1 to cover some. And I cover another piece down here. So what I think is I'm starting to scale in. I have longs. I'm scaling in, and then I'm holding my winners for a long time. I'm not covering right away. That's what's making me the most money so far. All right, so this thing, it's another intraday gapper. Pops up, looking for a curl for a fake breakout. But this is the problem. Like, I don't remember if it's just because I was looking for shorts or why I got such a late entry, but once again, this is a micro float, right? This thing is at a fucking floor level, ceiling level. I'm shorting near the floor. I do not like that at freaking all. Shorting straight freaking weakness is FOMO like a son of a bitch. This I would have been completely fine with a push up, shorting over here, risking off of that 20 cents. Really, I would not have got in full size risking 20 cents. I just wouldn't. But I would get in half size. Once I got in half size, let's see. It doesn't give any opportunities to get it, but like that's fine. So if I'm in half size, right, I just don't cover anything until my first target. So if I'm in half size, or would I be willing to get in on half size on this kind of share size, I would say that going $1 would be worth it to me. That'd be a solid ass trade, and just hold full size until $1, which I would have got down here. This shit is stupid. I know that this is me shorting weakness. Looking for like some stupid J line rejection or some shit like after stuff. Like I think that's just stupid. Like your ass get your ass kicked on that. Like, yeah, cool, dude. It had big stuff, but look, it's forming a curl for me. Like, they could have easily held this and pushed up again, and I think that's a horrible trade right there. Really, like, this shows me that I'm making money on really bad trades also, just because I'm holding, and yeah, I'm covering in the right spots. Like, I'm taking profits in the right positions, but I'm still not trading in good positions. I need to be a lot more patient and like be very concrete. Like, don't be shorting down here on weakness. It's got to give at least a pop, because I know for a fact that's got to be a freaking fib level right here. Yeah, 6-1 fib, bam, perfect. Alright, so MLGO, which is actually kind of funny because this thing absolutely fucked me up on, I think it was Friday. But in the past, I apparently got this thing pretty damn good. I wonder how much. 1 second. Well, that explains a lot. I went in with probably a sixth of the size I went in on this Friday, so that would explain why I traded so much better on this thing, because I gave it a lot more room. I think that's one of the biggest things that I've been noticing about trading higher price stocks is I get super fucking greedy because this thing is up from like $4. It's topping out up over $7.50. Has a lower high, popped and fell. I short, I add on week, which is this shit right fucking here is driving me insane because it is asking for trouble. Like, I mean, I really look at this more of the floor, but I mean this could be considered a solid floor level 2. This is curling, yeah, okay, it's stuffed out. That's great, but so this short I like. This short I do like. It goes up, pops, stuffs down. I'm in with smaller risk. Really, I could have I'm in at $7. I could have risked over $8 for sure, no problem. This thing goes up, does another fake breakout, but then I slam, literally bottom tick the fuck out of this thing. And it's also holding. It's got a low, a higher low, a higher low. For me, that is not a good trade. How much size was I in on the second trade? 1 second. All right. I mean, I'm in really small size, but still, it does not matter. It's not about the money. I feel like it's about being a better trader, and for me, this thing, no. The only place that I would have been willing to short lower is somewhere over on here because of what I just drew in. I just now started seeing this trend. It does a fake breakout of the trend, stuff $7 again. Okay, this over here, it's all about timing, and this timing sucks dick because I think that's one thing that's really starting to click together is that the trades that are kicking my ass are these trades that just don't work, and I'm trading the same thing over and over and over, but sometimes they work and I have a monster trade, or they don't work and then I have a monster loss. And so for me, the way to resolve that is okay, just and this stuff down here, this is crazy. Why am I shorting way down here? That's insane to me. I can even this. I really don't even like this. I don't like this ad. I don't mind this ad. It's $6, and it's got some wicking up in here. It's also this, to me, this is premature. It's got a trend. It's on the first stuff. And I'm shorting way down here. I should be looking once again up near the tops. 650. I probably got filled to 630s. That's ridiculous. Get up at least 640, 645, somewhere in here. Okay, it goes down. Awesome, cool. Hold. Goes up. Starts stuffing out again at $6. But this is another way that you can kind of do it. Doesn't have the lower high. This does have a lower high. From this high to there, that's the 61 fib level, so that's valid in my book at least. Shit. So really, honestly, that's the only ad right in here is the only ad in my personal opinion. All this stuff down here is just being greedy as shit. Especially this. This is ridiculous. But that's the biggest problem is I'm getting paid for making bad mistakes, but then when it when it doesn't work, I am giving back these giant wins, and so it's like okay, like it's not going to be sustainable for the future. So uh, I feel like this is going to be done for this. I'm going to make another video here in a little bit about my last month of trading. I have another thing that I want to kind of look at and review, like literally all the trades of the last month, and so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I will be back here in a little while with another video.